Hi everybody, this is Rare with Photos. What I have in front of me right now is the very first edition of Suzanne Finstead's Child Bride, the untold story of Priscilla Boyu Presley. This is the first edition, and it's the very first printing. So, you know, there's nothing that's incorrect on here. You know, like maybe there's, there's some digital transcribings of these books. So, I'm gonna open up a section here and maybe read a little bit. Okay, chapter 13. During Priscilla Boyu's 5-month interlude with Elvis Presley in Germany, one thing was certain. She was a 14-year-old girl who was in far over her head. Her friendship with Elvis, as her parents later characterized it to the media, was not the innocent fantasy they described. It was sex, drugs, and rock and roll, and Anne and Paul Boyu were too taken with Elvis's celebrity and their daughter's adolescent infatuation with a man of such importance to notice or intervene. When Lamar Fike pulled up to the Boyus to fetch Priscilla in the early evening and then drop her off at 1 or 2 in the morning, her parents did not communicate. He just picked her up and brought her home. Priscilla had a succession of drivers from October on. Lamar, who joked with her and called her Baloo. Joe Esposito, Elvis's father Vernon, and sometimes with his new blonde girlfriend Dee Stanley, the estranged wife of an army sergeant. Priscilla's parents, and on the rare occasion, Elvis himself. Joe, who got to know the Baloos slightly, also recalled that Anne really liked Elvis a lot, and the mother. There were suggestions when one peered more closely of a darker Gothic side to Priscilla's home life. Sunhild Ernst, a 16-year-old Wiesbaden girl, babysat for the younger Priscilla and the children a few times that fall. She stopped after an incident with Paul Boyu. When he drove me home, she said years later, he was drunk and hit on me, or tried anyways. Suni, as she was called, lived quite near the Balus, Curry and Carol's regular babysitter. She agreed to help out the Boyus when Carol called her one day saying that Paul and Anne could not find a sitter. But after he tried to hit on me, that was it. I told her, forget it. I don't need this. Priscilla's stepfather, by Suni's observation, was a drunk. On the last night she babysat for their children, Paul propositioned her as soon as they left the Boyu house. There was no physical contact because I would have gotten out of the car. I said, look, I'm not interested. And then I kind of said, forget it. No, At that time, I wasn't allowed to go out or date or anything like that. And then to have some old captain coming on to you, that's kind of scary. I was glad to get out of the car. Suni stayed away from the Boyus after that. So why that's an important part in this tale of Child Bride is to show the character of the father and the mother. You know, those are the kind of people that let their daughter go an hour away to a celebrity's house at 14 on school nights. Suni, who also babysat regularly for Curry and Carol's 2 small daughters, never had a problem with Curry. He liked the lady, she said, but he was always a gentleman. He never crossed the line. Well, with her at least, right? Albert Corey, a football player at H.H. Arnold, who was a year older than Priscilla, spent the night in the maids' quarters of the Boyus' basement a few times after football games the next fall, a school practice for athletes who lived in the dormitories. He remembered his first extended encounter with Captain Boyu. He came down to talk to me about the football game, and he had a drink in his hand, and he was drunk, and he wouldn't leave. Priscilla's father always had a drink in his hand, Al recalled. Every time I stayed with them, from morning until night, mother too, cognac all the time. Of course, over there it was like running water. Suni also remembered Anne Boyu drinking heavily on the nights she babysat. Priscilla would be at Elvis's house, according to Suni, still not home by 1 or 2 in the morning, when the Boyus returned. Paul and Anne never asked where Priscilla was. When they came home, they were both sloshed. She always went right to the bedroom, and you could tell the way she was weaving. Suni Ernst and Al Corey's recollections were consistent with Mike Edwards' later impression of Paul Boyu as an alcoholic, the dark secret of military life. There's a lot of alcoholism in the military, observed Katie Neese, a classmate and acquaintance of Priscilla. I think it's a way of coping. And of course, in Germany, there wasn't a drinking age for the most part. People drank. In a military family, another Wiesbaden friend of Priscilla's, Joe Delahunt, stated, what goes on and what people see on the outside and how dysfunctional it is something else. But I would say, as a typical military family, the Boyus had problems. Priscilla's dad was kind of a hard, When Suni babysat, she noticed how intimidated the rest of the family was by Paul. They weren't happy. It was not a happy home. The whole behavior of the children, quiet when he was around. He was to a certain extent a male chauvinist, like he was head honcho and that was it. So that's where we're going to stop right now. I'm going to jump around and do different sections. I may read the whole book to everybody. But certainly, you know, this is the outline of the truth, perhaps. At least the truth of Child Bride was that Priscilla was pushed into being with Elvis. She had lots of high school boyfriends that she had relationships with, she was infatuated, that she supposedly loved, perhaps, went to the prom. You got Jamie Lindbergh, the boy that she didn't want to leave in Germany. But she was basically forced to go to the United States. This is a senior year, Priscilla, in the 1963 H.H. Arnold yearbook. The caption refers to her boyfriend, Jamie Lindbergh, whom her parents pushed her to reject in favor of Elvis. Dear John, or Jamie, see? That's on her yearbook. So this is no secret. It's only a secret because she doesn't want it to be out. All right, let me know whether you want me to continue doing some more reading of this book, Child Bride. I will probably do it anyways, but leave me some comments, share, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. This is Rare of Us Photos. Please hit that join button if you're on the computer.